Shardae, Q&A, with Shardae. I know, it's cute. Large, one of the most frequently asked questions is one of the first ones that I will answer, and it's about meal prepping. You see meal prepping all over social media. Like, you cannot, if you're a person who likes, food videos or pictures, there's no way that you can scroll on your timeline a single day and not see something about food prepping, about meal prepping. It has become so popular, and for some people it really, really works. And I'll talk a little bit more about how meal prepping works out for me, but let me read the question first. The first question is, how do I meal prep for the week and not waste food? And wasting food is the #1 reason that I stopped meal prepping. If you follow me and you look at my stories, I cook a variety of different things. We're kind of picky. We're kind of fickle up and through my household. And what we eat today may not necessarily be the same thing that we want to eat tomorrow. And it's 99% of the time, it's definitely not what we want to eat for the rest of the week. So when it comes to meal prepping, it's really important to be realistic about you, about your eating out habits, about your cooking habits, and just your tastes and preferences. So a lot of people see, they look at Facebook videos or Instagram videos, and they see all the black containers with the clear lids, and there's the chicken on one side, and then there's the vegetable, and then there's like a small amount of rice or something, and you see 5 of these laid out on the counter, and then they're all stacked up together, and this is the meal prep for the week. And for some people, that really, really works. For someone like me who likes a variety of food, which I think most people do, you end up eating maybe those first 2 containers, and then after that, it's a little touch and go after you eat those first 2 servings. Especially, a lot of people are meal prepping, the same meal for lunch and dinner, or 1 meal for lunch and 1 meal for dinner. That's not what's working out here in these streets for me. So the first thing that you really need to do is to be realistic. Unless, a lot of people who are in specialized diets like keto or diets that have tracking or restriction around different nutritional aspects of eating, unless you're doing something like that, 9 times out of 10, you're going to eat out 1 to 2 times a week. That's just the honest truth. And pretending on Sunday afternoon that you're going to eat the same food every day for 5 or 7 days, you're not really fooling anybody. Like, what ends up happening, I'll give you 2 scenarios for meal prep waste. The first scenario is, after the first 2 or 3 days of eating the meal prep food, you're totally over it and you end up not wanting to eat the rest of the food. The other meal prep scenario that was very familiar for me is, I would cook a bunch of different meals on a Sunday, and then throughout the week, my wonderful family would pick from different meals every day. So by the 3rd or 4th day, although I had cooked 3 or 4 full meals, there were like little scraps of meals left, like random foods that nobody wanted to eat at that point. So being realistic about your taste, your preferences. If you're not a person who likes leftovers, don't jump on a meal prep plan. Like, don't buy the black containers. I know that it's tempting, but if you know that you have tastes that change from day to day, you're going to end up wasting food and essentially wasting your time too. And like I said, being realistic about eating out. The truth is, either for social reasons, for work reasons, for convenience reasons, or just because you're sick of eating, I call it home food. One of these days you're going to get sick of home food and you're going to want to eat out. So instead of trying to go all the way to the left with the meal planning scenario, Plan that. Put that into the mix of what you plan to do. Meal prep for 4 or 5 days or 3 or 4 days, and then give yourself the flexibility to eat out so that it's a realistic plan that you can stick with. Also, if you plan to eat out, then you can maximize your food budget. Don't blow all your food budget on items that you're going to meal prep and then not end up eating those items. Go upstairs, please. So that helps you with your budget. We don't want you to go out and spend all your budget on meal prep food, then all that food is either already eaten or in the trash, and then you're spending more money going out to eat. So that helps you manage your budget. I also have when I was working more, when I had a different job, I would meal prep for half the week. So I would prep on Sunday for maybe Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, knowing we might go out to eat Thursday or Friday, and then I would cook throughout Saturday and Sunday because I would have more time. So nobody says that meal prep has to be an all or nothing. Like maybe from where you're starting, a great meal prep plan is for you to eat at home 3 to 4 nights a week. Like that might be an improvement from where you are now. That might save you money from what you're spending right now on eating out every night of the week. So you really have to take it for what works for you. It's not a one-size-fits-all thing. And then the last thing is I make a distinguishment between meal prep and food prep. So in my kitchen, meal prep means I'm cooking an entire meal from start to finish that I'm going to reheat and eat at another time. But I also implement food prep, which means I have food that's ready to be cooked quickly. So for example, I might have produce that's already washed, maybe cut, depending on what it is. I might have protein that's already, if I'm pulling it out of the freezer, it's already thawed out. It's already in the refrigerator, thawing out, ready to be cooked. That could mean that if you like buy in bulk, having your protein or your frozen items pre-portioned is preparing for cooking. Food prep or meal prep doesn't just mean black containers and clear lids. It can mean whatever you need it to mean to meet your lifestyle. So all of those things are things that you can do to save money on meal prep and make it fit your lifestyle. And the last thing is your freezer is your friend. Your freezer is your friend. Just because you prepped a meal and maybe you don't want to eat it today, it doesn't mean that it has to sit around in the refrigerator and go bad. Put it in the freezer. Like if you are using individual meal containers, or even if you're prepping entire meals, if you make a vegetable lasagna or something, you don't want to eat it today. You decided I'm over the veggie lasagna, take that and put it in the freezer. Your food is not wasted. You're just going to eat it on another day. Now, you do have to be mindful about that because don't take food that you prepped 7 days ago and now stick it in the freezer to eat later. You do have to be a little bit proactive. But if on day 1 or day 2, you're just like, I'm not feeling it, I want something different, a great way to salvage what you've already spent on food prep is to throw it in the freezer.